Mohammad Zohaib from the
Yes,
Instituto Italiano di Tecnologia. The title of his talk is State-of-the-Art Approaches for 3D Reconstruction from Images.
yes, thank you, Dr. Musharraf. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see your presentation.
Okay, so let us start. So today in this session, we will talk about state-of-the-art approaches for 3D reconstruction from images. Our main focus will be on the architecture of the reported approaches, how these approaches are using images for 3D reconstruction. So before going towards these approaches, I would like to discuss some applications in order to highlight the significance of the work. So my name is Mohammad Zohaib, and I'm working in Pavis Lab, which is situated at Great Campus of University of Geneva and Geneva, Italy. So sorry for the mistake. So in this slide, we will discuss the problem statement that we are going to discuss over here in this session. So the problem that we are going to address here is use of the RGB images for 3D reconstruction. Here I have added some of the application. So let us discuss the first application over here on top. Here's the iCube robot, which is a very famous robot of IIT. It is trying to grasp an object which is placed in front of it on the table. However, it is unable to grasp it. The reason behind that is it has information of the position of the object. However, it is unable to extract the information of 3D. Therefore, it is unable to grasp it. Here's another application which is illustrating the example where an autonomous driving car is moving behind two other cars. It is able to detect both these cars. However, it does not have 3D information of the cars moving in front of it. Therefore, it is unable to overtake. So for autonomous driving, the 3D information is really important. Here's another application of collaborative robot, which is collaborating in presence of human. So these articulated robots are working with human, and the work is somehow relevant to pick and place. So the vital part here is that the robots have to take care of its surrounding because they are working in presence of human, and safety of a human is really important. Here's another example, which is illustrating a very simple example of a swarm robots. So in swarm robots, multiple robots have to move together in order to perform specific tasks. So here it is really very important for every robot to have the 3D information of its surrounding for flying in 3D environment, or for collaborating with their neighbor robots in order to perform specific task jointly. So in a nutshell, if we talk about the application, we can see a lot of many other applications around us as well that are requiring 3D information. So let us discuss how the researchers are tackling this problem. And so in the beginning, I'd like to start from Pix 3D. Pix 3D is a recent work which is published in CVPR 2018. Actually, it is an extension of MARNET algorithm that takes a real image as an input, and in the end, it reconstructs 3D shape. So the architecture of Pix 3D is illustrated here in this slide. Here's a encoder-decoder architecture, the encoder that takes 2D image, a real image as an input, and converts it to latent representation. These representations are then shared among three different decoders. They decodes this encoded information into 2.5D sketches. These sketches contains normal surface normals, depth information, and silhouettes. With the help of these sketches, here's another encoder decoder architecture. So encoder encodes these information like it uses normal and depth information, and with the help of silhouettes, it encodes this information, and this encoded information is shared among two different decoders. So the upper part, here's a decoder for 3D shape reconstruction, which uses this encoded information and converts it to 3D shape. So please consider here we have 3D shape from ground truth that we use for finding the loss and updating the weights. Here's the additional part. This is a part by Apex 3D that uses this information in order to find azimuth and elevation information. Okay, so let us move towards another approach, which is Pix to Vox++. This approach uses multiple views of a single object in order to reconstruct 3D shape, and the 3D reconstruction is in volumetric form. So here is multiple encoder decoders. Specifically in this example, there are three different encoder decoders are used for three different views of a single object. So these encoder decoders takes these images, views of a single object, encodes latent representation, and which are used by the decoder in order to find the volumetric 3D shape. So these 3D shapes are combined together in order to fuse a complete volumetric surface, volumetric 3D mesh. So these are combined together based on their score maps. However, after having this fused volume, we use U-Net connection to refine in order to get the final volumetric 3D reconstruction. So this work is a recent work which is published in International Journal of Computer Vision in 2020. Here's another approach, self-supervised 2D to 3D translation, which is again a most recent work of 2020. The idea of the architecture is that, as shown over here in this slide, it takes 3D shape as an input, and we have information of projection unit. We use these two information and get the depth map. This depth map is then used by encoder decoder architecture. Actually, this is a GAN model. It creates, it generates an image which is used in three different ways for appearance correction, for viewpoint correction, and in the end, it is also used by the encoder decoder architecture in order to create a 3D mesh. So the generated 3D shape is then compared with the input 3D shape in order to find the loss and update the weights. Here's a discriminator that defines and that identify and tell us how much accuracy is there in this, how much reality is there in this generated image. Here's another algorithm, ConvexNet, a short form CVXNet. And this is the most recent work by Google and published in CVPR 2020. The idea of this algorithm is illustrated here in the top row. It takes image as an input. Here's a model that converts this image into multiple convexes and tries to extract information in terms of convexes. And in the end, all these reconstructed convexes are combined together in order to generate a complete 3D reconstruction. In more detail, the architecture of this algorithm is illustrated in the second row, where we are discussing with the help of very simple example, having a single convex image. So in this image, here's a single convex object, and encoder and decoder architecture is used over here. So encoder uses this information and converts it to latent representation that are shared with decoder. Here, the decoder decodes this information in hyperlines. Initially, all these hyperlines uh, are on the image, are generated on the image on several on different positions. Like these are not properly managed. So we use here the loss function. Here we have a function that we use, and we evaluate these lines with the help of ground truth images, ground truth points. So in ground truth, we have points in 3D that represent the inner portion of the object and outer portion or surrounding of the object. We use these 3D points in order to evaluate these hyperlines, and we force these hyperlines to move towards the edges of the object. So in the end, you can see all these hyperlines are in such a way that are touching the boundaries of the object and enclosing a complete object. So we use these information, we combine all these hyperlines in order to reconstruct a complete shape. The idea is more elaborated here in the last row. Let us suppose we have the hyperlines that are generated by the decoder. We first compute the sign distance function for every line. And in the end, we combine all the sign distances by applying softmax and then sigmoid function. And in the end, the contour, which normally presents a single convex shape. So this idea is enhanced for all the convexes that are separated initially, and then we combine all these reconstructed convexes, subconvexes, in order to generate a complete 3D reconstruction. Here on the left path, the left side of the screen, I have added some images that actually highlights the execution of this algorithm. We feed two different sort of images because there are two different directions of this research. So we are basically focusing images to 3D reconstruction. So I will discuss here. So we input the image, an RGB image as an input, and use these points, inner and outer points, as a ground truth for finding the loss. And in the end, we get this 3D reconstruction. Let us discuss another algorithm, Mesh RCNN. Actually, this work is from Facebook, and it is a recent work which is published in ICCV in 2019. It is based on two different researches, the Mask RCNN, which is the prior work, and the Mesh RCNN. In Mask RCNN, they takes a real image as an input and creates a box class, identify the class, and generate a 2D mask. So there is the information, the additional part by the Mesh RCNN that includes the voxel branch that qubify and create the initial mesh, which is then refined with the help of multiple sequence of graph convolutional neural network. And in the end, we have a complete final 3D generated shape by Mesh RCNN. So here is the execution. We took an image from our lab, a real image, and feed to this network. It produces the output as shown here on the right side. Here's another algorithm, occupancy network, which takes image as shown here on the top row, which takes image as an input and creates a 3D reconstruction. So we have multiple points from the ground truth as shows in earlier slides. We use these in order to identify how much accuracy is there in the reconstructed 3D shape. And then we find the loss as shown here in this equation, and update the weights such that the model can generate an accurate 3D reconstruction. So in this equation, initially we have a batch of images that we use to reconstruct. Here x of I, that is representing a batch of multiple reconstructions. So we are just taking the average of all the batches. So here we have a 3D reconstruction from the model. We evaluate using the occupancy function that evaluates this 3D reconstruction for all the points as shown over here. And in the end, it produces the occupancy probability across these points. However, in ground truth, we have the actual occupancy probability with respect to these points. We compare both these occupancies, one occupancy is from the ground truth and second occupancy is from the model, and compute the loss. So this was all about the researches that are considered by the researchers in order to reconstruct 3D shape from images. So let us discuss how we evaluate the reconstructed 3D shape by the models. We use different metrics, and here I'd like to discuss some of them, including chamfer distance, F-score, and intersection or union. So in chamfer distance, let us suppose we have two different meshes, one from prediction as shown over here, prediction, and one mesh is from ground truth, and we like to find the chamfer distance between these two meshes. So initially we need surface points from both these meshes in order to find the chamfer distance between these sample points from the surface of both meshes. So initially we compute two different distances. One is distance from prediction to ground truth, and second distance from ground truth to prediction. In prediction to ground truth, we takes all the points from prediction one by one and find the distance from the nearest neighbor points in ground truth. However, in ground truth to prediction, we takes all the points from ground truth one by one and find the distance from its nearest neighbor points in prediction mesh. And we use both these information in order to compute the chamfer distance. In chamfer distance, we take mean square average of all these distances. Here's another metric, F-score, that uses both of these information, both of these distances calculated earlier for chamfer distance calculation. We find the precision and recall with the help of these vectors. Like for precision, we take mean of all the predicted distances from predicted to ground truth whose square is less than tau, where tau is the thickness of surface. However, recall is calculated by taking mean of all the distances from ground truth to prediction distances whose square is less than tau. And in the end, we apply the F-score formula, which is to multiply with precision and recall divided by sum of both. Hopefully this is the last slide from my side, which illustrating that how could we compute the intersection over union for 3D meshes. So initially we have the 3D points as shown earlier. We use these 3D points, and here we have the occupancy function or indicator function that indicates how many of these points belongs to a mesh and how many of these points are from surroundings. So we have occupancies here. However, we have other occupancies from ground truth. We use both of these occupancies in order to compute the intersection over union. Here's a table that is illustrating the idea in a more clear way. Let us suppose we have a prediction that says that the first point from these points is inside a object, inside a 3D mesh. One is illustrating inside and zero is illustrating from the surrounding. However, the second point is from surrounding, next 2 points are from objects, and next 2 points are from surrounding. Whereas the ground truth says about this point, the first point is from the object, second is from surrounding, next in the object, and again 2 are from surrounding, and last one is from object. So we compute the intersection by taking a multiplication of both these occupancies. Like in this case, both are 1, we will consider it as intersection. Both are 0, we are ignoring it. Again, both are 1, we are considering, and rest of are not considering as intersections. And in the end, we take the sum of both, and we compute the cumulative intersection. For union, we find the max of both these occupancies, ground truth and prediction. Here in this case, both are 1, so we will consider this point. Both are 0, both are 1, we will again consider. 1 is 1 and 1 is 0. So the max is 1, we are again considering it. And in the end, there's a scenario where prediction says this point is outside the surrounding and ground truth says this is a part of object. So again, we are considering it. So in the end, we sum up all these points and we have the value 4 and we compute intersection over union with the help of these. So this was all from my side. If you have any further questions, please let us discuss.